before we do some news here, we'll cover the news. What did you see this week that interested you? I know we have a few topics to talk about. I think the first one I'm seeing is that so block.one, they've dedicated $3 million over to Virginia Tech to help build a curriculum for blockchain. And so they have there's a certain guy that lives in Blacksburg, and he knows a lot about blockchain. You know, he's a bit kind of a visionary, as they called him. And he went to Virginia Tech a while back. His name is Dan.
Dan.
So yeah, they were giving a bunch of money to help launch that program in Virginia Tech, so that hopefully down the line, blockchain, maybe block.one will help be able to hire some exceptional students out of Virginia Tech and give them jobs right out of college. And yeah, it looks like a great initiative to me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts, Kevin. Good story here. It's like one of those things where we just need to educate people. So obviously we see the need for education in an awesome facility like Virginia Tech, very well known for their tech programs. So that's definitely going to be a boon to their students over there, and any others who would want to come and actually go to a college or a university that's specializing in blockchain. So that's just amazing. That's really good. What else do you got there, Kev, for news?
We're looking at, of course, the latest block producer report came out this past week. The report itself has about 150 candidates now after the update. And then the block producer portal, which is a research site, bp.eosgo.io, it's about 160 total candidates on there. Some of the candidates, they have not done all the requirements for the actual checklist, but they put their name on the block producer research site. So we are getting up there. It looks like we may even surpass my 175 guests that I had a couple weeks ago. What are your thoughts there, Bluejays, about the block producers all lining up?
Yeah, it seems like we got 40 this past week, and that was just crazy, the amount that are coming out. I wonder how much is going to be next week. Obviously, at this point in time, everyone is focusing on the launch, so these latecomers, per se, would have to get up to speed quite fast. If they're planning or intending to be major players or launch players anyways. So not to divert from the course that we have now, but as you can see, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty type of stuff before we launch. So
yeah, that's about right. And even things like the conversation tools used to help launch the chain, you heard about that just recently in that block producer panel. These are the important questions, and of course we communicating back and forth will be important. Telegram, as we well know, and we've actually seen recent articles about how insecure it actually is, and all the different bugs and malware that can be downloaded through Telegram, and it's a bit of a mess. So yeah, I think hopefully they can figure that out.
And Kev, one thing I wanted to say was that from the outsider point of view, seeing all of these issues this late before our supposed launch, it's expected. I mean, there's not one company launching this chain. There's a community launching this chain, and it's unheard of. So to have all of these issues very late in the game, while it might look that way to people who are on the outside, is just natural progression of things, in my opinion.
Very well said. You know what? And actually, the fact that we've come this far as a worldwide distributed community through all the different language barriers and time zones and everything else, the fact that we're discussing Keybase at this point, we have a lot of the other parts of the security nailed down. And of course, you heard about they have multiple ways to help launch the chain, all built out. Everybody's been communicating really well to this point. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's amazing. All these strangers coming together, all these different companies that have formed around this opportunity. So I would say in terms of what the final problems that we have to deal with, very minimal, right? Seems like it.
Yeah, and it seems like we have Yves LaRose agreeing with us. It's simply amazing and normal. So there you go.
There you go. Normal. And let's jump over to Vitalik Buterin. He's a name that we know about in blockchain. He helped with a DPoS question in the EOS.io GitHub. He made a comment last week, and it was about a week ago now. And he helped sort of bring up a small issue that Dan and team then evaluated and actually implemented. And then Dan wrote a blog post thanking Vitalik for his contribution. So what did you take away from that, Bluejays?
Yeah, I mean, from a coding point of view, I believe it was a minor corner case issue. But from a collaboration point of view, it was amazing to see Vitalik come and selflessly sort of help out with the project and and I guess obviously it's on his radar, so that's a good thing. And I hope he wishes us well, and we do too for his projects.
Yeah, and the way he referenced his Plasma white paper a couple times during the back and forth on the GitHub comments. And so he had some familiarity with the issue that he was raising. And I guess he sort of helped with that. Now, I don't think we should read too much into it in terms of, he's following the EOS.io GitHub, this and that. It's all open source software. And I'm sure once in a while, Dan and everybody else checks in with what Ethereum is doing, right? It's good to keep an eye on your competition, right? And that's technically what it is. It's a competition, I guess you could say, in some ways. But, it's also learning from each other. It's collaboration on top of competition. And that's what open source, that's why we've made so many advancements in software. And that's why blockchain is where it is today. It's because everybody's working together to some degree while also competing. So I think it's wonderful. And I don't think we should just assume that Vitalik is going to be living in Blacksburg very soon, necessarily. But he and Dan can race their Teslas together.
Right.
It'll be a beautiful moment.
I don't know if Vitalik's a Tesla guy. Is he old enough to drive? Oh, I'm kidding.
Wow. Oh, boy. You think he has a Vespa?
Vespa. I said Tesla. Oh, okay. It's two different things, man. Imagine you got that confused. Went to the dealership. I want the most expensive Vespa.
If you get like an electric engine in a little Vespa, man, you could really soar. Let me tell you, you wouldn't be able to stay on that thing. It would just take off without you.
Got a 2-inch screen on my Vespa.
2-inch screen. So let's see. Wow. Vespas and blockchain. Here we are. Let's go over to meetups. You ready? The Tulip conference. We just, of course, talked to G about it. It's coming up in June 6th and 7th. This right after launch. Hopefully, it'll be a celebration. It looks like it may be part celebration and part still waiting for the vote to happen. Of course, we have no clue. But what are your thoughts there, Blue Jays? We're both going.
Yeah, we're both going, and as much as I want it to be a party, I don't know. Things are going to be quite in the fire at that point, so it would be a definitely interesting time. We've heard that some people are going to have war rooms there and stuff, so it's going to be very interesting. An EOS-centered sort of community get together, I guess you could say. So if you guys are thinking about going, definitely come out and look us up while you're there.
Yeah, and of course you'll meet a whole lot of block producer candidates. You've heard from a few. There's EOS Nation and EOS New York and EOS Tribe, EOS 42. I mean, I could list them off for a long time, I'm sure. But if you have any particular block producer candidate you'd love to meet in person, or even NS James is going from Scatter, or if you'd happen to want to meet us, we'll say hi. I think we're pretty friendly, right, Blue Jays? We cool?
Yeah. I just, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're ice cold. That's us.
Yeah. Don't talk to me. Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand. I'm on a EOS radio show. It gets 70 viewers at once. Talk to the hand. Anyway, too big for our britches around here. Let's jump over. Let's see. So yeah, if you want to look up the rest of the meetups available, I mean, we're getting down to the wire. So I guess launch party stuff should start coming out from folks who are holding one. Of course, a lot of block producer candidates who normally hold the meetups, they'll be so busy trying to launch the chain that they may not necessarily have a lot of launch parties going on.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to announce more about ours tomorrow. You'll hear about the EOS Go launch party and what that will look like. And as we briefly mentioned, it's going to be an international kind of just everybody can come check in with us, and we see what's happening with them from around the world. And we're going to have all 7 continents represented, including Antarctica, I hope. Oh, yeah. Still waiting for that first block producer candidate from Antarctica. But anyway, so maybe 6 continents. What do you think? Is Antarctica a continent? Maybe I'm getting confused here.
I think it might be. So we don't have all the continents covered. We just got, the non-frozen ones.
Well said. Yeah. So just the land masses. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and do our final thoughts of the week there, Blue Jays. We'll wrap this up. What are your thoughts of the week?
Yeah, getting down to the wire. I love that Thomas just, hey, let's go deal with this stuff right now. Head over to the Block Pros and get the decide how we decide on what we need to do. At least you can do that. So and I loved how the Crypto Lions crew pointed out a few of the good pragmatic things that need to be done. For example, validation. So those are good points to bring up, and obviously security, that was on the mind of HK EOS. definitely some things to worry about, and definitely to lock it down as in this late stage. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to the big weeks coming up.
Yeah, well said. I think it's mostly it's going to be relaxing in some ways after the launch. Eric a few weeks back talked about that when he was on. He said it's kind of like an event horizon day to him, right? Oh, launch is coming up, and I cannot see beyond what happens after launch, right? And I think it'll be somewhat relaxing, even as we all sit back and wait for the vote to come in for the 15% to actually validate the chain. And well, actually, it won't be relaxing for some people. They'll be scrambling for their security. They'll be getting attacked. It'll be a bit of a mess for them. But I was just speaking for myself. Never mind, guys. I'm sorry. You guys are stressed.
Unprecedented, man. This has never been. Has it been done before? Do you know? I mean, I don't know of any other case like this. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other blockchain project that's had a community launch. I really don't think so. It's always whoever creates the software just starts booting up the blockchain as well, and then they collect the first however many tokens.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of them did that, but anyway. So I think this is the first time that a bunch of random strangers just got together and said, "Let's do this. Let's make it happen."
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
And hopefully, at the end of the day, we'll all ride off into the sunset on our Vespas or Teslas. Depends how well you do, I guess. But
right, or maybe a Vespa attached to the back of your Tesla. Now you're talking. Like Vitalik, look at me now. How do you like that? All right, well, we're going to call it a night, guys. Thank you for checking in. Next week's show is going to be a monster. It's a marathon show. We're offering any block producer candidate who has not been able to interview thus far on the show is able to get on next week for a full interview. So it's going to be a long. We'll be at it for a while. I think we have eight block producer candidates already signed up for interviews, and it's going to be exciting. We have a whole worldwide, distributions, Puerto Rico and all over the place. Folks that we have not really even heard much from yet. So we're all going to be learning a lot from these candidates as we meet them. India as well. I think there's one from India. So.
Yeah, and I guess you already mentioned our launch week announcement. So we're going to be reaching out and telling everybody about our schedule coming up for the launch week.
Right, and it'll be an extensive schedule for the whole week. We'll be on a lot for you guys to hang out with us and check in with everybody from around the world and stuff. So it should be good. So more details tomorrow. And last words at Bluejay. Anywhere people should keep up with us.
The forums, our Twitter, the community updates channel. Yeah, check us out and go EOS.
Yeah, go EOS. Thanks, guys.
Good night, everyone. Bye.